This is 365801 and this is day 16 of the 25 Days of Manga. This may go up on the 16th. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'll manage to get it up today. So, this is a shoujo title. It's, very clear from the thumbnail that this is the shoujo one. And I was also going to be reading something else for shoujo. In fact, I had a few in mind, but I was going to read one that doesn't have any, well, I don't think it has any BL elements to it. And I was gonna have to admit something to do that and say like, hey, I read this. I've never read it before, which would be the admission. I've also never watched the anime, which would be another big admission, because I have volume 1 in my collection. So I think maybe as a manga collector, as someone who collects manga, it's maybe a bit of a surprise for some people, but I've never read or watched Sailor Moon. And it's not like I don't know what it is or what it's about, because it's in the collective cultural, mindset. It's there, it's in our consciousness, it's part of the fabric of anime and manga and, all things. So yeah, I know about Sailor Moon, I just have never bothered to actually read it. Sorry. So I was going to rectify that, but you know what? I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I'll find something else. I'll find something else that I want to read, that I'm in the mood for. Like I said, doing some mood reading. So what I was in the mood for was something that I have actually purchased a while ago, and I haven't actually got round to sitting down and reading, even though, if I am honest, I have read not all of it, but some of it on scans when it first started coming out, which was quite a long time ago. I think, 2003 this work started. So, Silver Diamond, Volume 1, Silver Seed. This is Shiho Sugiura's work. And yes, it is actually classed as shoujo. If you go over to the Baka Manga Updates website, you'll be able to see that it does have Shonen Ai as one of the classifications, which we all call BL now. But it is technically a shoujo. And I know from what I've read, there are some BL-esque references, but it is actually mainly just a fantasy adventure, supernatural story with two main male leads, which is cool by me. So yeah, Shiho Sugiura's work. Now, I was in two minds about whether or not to actually show this to everyone and be like, hey, here's a shoujo you might be interested in. And that's because, well, there's a few reasons, but one of the reasons is it's a Tokyopop title, and they dropped it after 9 volumes. So there are only 9 volumes published for this series. Now, if you know anything about Shiho Sugiura, you know she likes to do really, really long stories. And this particular story, Silver Diamond, is 27 volumes long in Japanese. And we only got 9 published. So that's unfortunate. They cancelled it, apparently. The other reason I don't want to tell everyone about this is because I only have volume 1. And I don't want you all to get excited and go out and buy the copies that are available, because I still want to collect them myself. I'm just selfish like that, As you can see on the image, the writing for Silver Diamond is in silver, and so when the light hits it, it looks very nice like that. So I just wanted to show that really nice little detail. It's quite a nice copy for Tokyopop, actually. And it's a bit of a real shame that they only printed 9 volumes, but then 27 is an awful lot to print. yeah, so Shiho Sugiura also did another title before this that she started in the mid-90s. Wow, when I think about that, that's ages. Kori no Mamono no Monogatari. And that was, if I remember correctly, the Ice Demons story. I think something like that. And I read some of that, or a lot of that, scanlated as well. Obviously, it's like really long as well, and 20 something volumes, I think. And so that was being scanlated as well, back in the mid 2000s, and I was reading it. I do wish that they had more of her work available. She did continue other works after this as well. Once this 27 volume was completed, she did an extra as well, a Silver Diamond Gaiden as well. But yeah, it's funny. There's just her supernatural elements. She's quite amusing as well, and she mentions it. She's like, "Oh, if you're starting to read this after reading the first story, Kori no Mamono no Monogatari, oh, I hope you just go, oh, this is just like her." Because there are certain elements. Her art style is very distinctive. It would be if you were practicing this much. If you write big, sweeping stories that are many, many volumes long, then your art style will develop and become more solid and much more your own. And her art style is particularly obvious. It's beautiful, it's lovely. The way that she does her panels is kind of old-fashioned, in the fact that some of them are very... No, I guess it is very shoujo when I think about it. And I flicked through, I was just thinking, it's very shoujo actually, which is appropriate. There are comedic touches here and there and everywhere. I really like her little funny bits. She has beautiful expressions. Eyes are lovely. Hair is nice. She does, the mob characters as, just basic, and then she does the main characters and they're just gorgeous. It's very sumptuous. It's very energetic. It's lovely, lovely artwork. The comedic touches are good as well. It really helps to just bump the story along. But this first volume really just whizzed by, and it really helped that there was a lot going on, and it was like, oh, that's it, finished. Only volume 1, and not actually a lot happened. So here's the story of just this first volume. There is a lovely young man called Rakan, who lives on his own, unfortunately. He's a teenager in high school, and he has a pleasing atmosphere. Lots of flowers grow in his house, and he's known for being a very domestic, very relaxed, and just all-round lovely person. And his plan in life is to just live a quiet, easy life. He was brought up in this household with his mother and his grandfather, and I'm saying that in inverted commas, in a nice, quiet way, since he was 2. You find out later that he has a very interesting sort of origin story, but that's how he's been brought up to this point when the story starts. When he gets home from school after collecting fish on a time sale, as you do, he finds a man in his garden, lying in the flowers. Looks like he's passed out, and it immediately brings to mind the image of him and his mother also lying in this back garden of this house, surrounded by the flowers. And that's where it makes him start thinking about the origin of himself and his mother. This man that has arrived is Chigusa, Senro Chigusa, and he is dressed slightly oddly. He's wearing goggles, and when he awakens, he calls him the prince and goes to shoot him with a gun that's made of a tree. And then when Rakan touches it, the gun suddenly grows up into a huge big tree, and he calls him the Sanome. Sanome being some sort of mystical creature that can create life or helps plants to grow. It's a bit odd. That's how it starts. There is another character that gets introduced, or I should say a pair of characters that gets introduced, and that is Narushige, who is a very beautiful long-haired gentleman who has a lovely snake called Ko, who can also turn into a sword. and he's also been transported to this world. So he just kind of has to, poor Rakan, he has to kind of get over the fact that these two people have just come into his life and have interrupted what he had planned to be a very low-key, chilled existence where he would just go to university, find someone, get married, get a, steady job, just live a low-key life. And he's suddenly thrust into this situation where it doesn't really appear that he's going to get the low-key life that he had planned. From what I remember in this story, he definitely doesn't. But it's just a lovely start to the story. That's volume 1. Like I said, only 9 volumes were published, which is a real shame, but I would like to eventually collect all 9 volumes. I think it would be nice to collect more than that in the Japanese and do some translation myself and be able to practice reading in Japanese. I love the artwork. I love all the little chibis, the comedic touches. Some of the art panels are just wonderful. Sometimes it feels a little bit crowded and overwhelmed, and then she'll, as soon as you have a panel you think, oh, there's an awful lot on this page, you turn the page and then it's a one big expansive page with just, very plain artwork, and it's very impactful. So you understand that actually there's a lot of thought that's gone into the composition. The character designs, very beautiful, as they should be. And it's mysterious. Straight away you're sucked into this mystery, which, as I've said, goes on for 27 volumes. So yeah, Silver Diamond is a shoujo, but has BL elements. Although, as far as I remember, nothing much in the way of true BL happens for quite a while in the story. But I will need to buy at least the first 9 volumes to be able to actually remember what it was about. It's nice though, and I'm really glad I've got it, and the copy that I got was a really good copy. And as I've said, it's different from our Tokyopop one because it's just that nice silver. It's got a nice lovely light touch to her artwork. I just really wish there was more of her artwork available, more of her work. And it has been made into ebooks a couple of years ago in Japanese. So if they were thinking, they could always put them into English. I'm sure there would be, even if it was just digital, I think that would be good. So yeah, Silver Diamond, Volume 1, Silver Seed, by Shiho Sugiura. Kind of an old school version, this. It's an old school title. An oldie but a goodie. I really like it. So yeah, maybe that's one of my goals for 2021. Get some more Silver Diamond, please. That's exactly what I'm thinking I might do. So if everyone else could just hold off for a bit until I've got mine, thanks, that would be great. No, honestly though, if you are interested in this, I would go out and get one if you can. They will be secondhand and they might be overpriced. If you speak German or French or Italian or any other European language, by all means go out and get them because they're all available and they're all fairly cheap. I think, anyway. For some strange and inexplicable reason, everything is available in Europe and not in English. So, as I mentioned already, it is from 2003 when they started, so it is an old title, but it took her several years to get it finished. I think she finally completed it maybe about five years ago, something like that. So even then, it's quite a long time. I hope you're interested in Silver Diamond, and if you have read Silver Diamond or you remember what Silver Diamond was about, or if you have it in Japanese, please let me know. I was a bit surprised that this is actually shoujo, but then when I thought about it, it was like, yeah, I can see that. So yes, this is my shoujo title for the 25 Days of Manga on my bingo board. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, every day's a BL day.